right, a very wonderful morning to you. The time is 9 o'clock, and thanks for staying with us on Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin. This is News Sponge, a news and current affairs compilation of topical story and headlines making the rounds. I am your host, NEDU OKORIE. All right, you're welcome. Here are the headlines trending in the news today. Supreme Court has destroyed confidence in judiciary. This is according to Peter Obi. EFCC meets Vice Chancellor, Rector, Provosts over rising cybercrimes on campuses. Again, court orders EFCC to release Emefiele immediately. 3 people feared dead as fire guards Canadian embassy in Abuja. NIN enrollment is free, says NIMC, urges Nigerians to report extortion. Kogi 2023, we are 90% ready for peaceful, credible polls. This is coming from INEC. NIMET predicts heavy rainfall in Lagos, Ogun, Bayelsa, and 12 other states. Kano, court reserves judgment on Governor Yusuf's appeal. Women, children killed, others abducted as gunmen attack Maulud procession in Katsina. Again, PDP demands removal of Imo resident electoral commissioner. TASWED students protest tuition fee hike. Still on the local scene again, Navy intercepts 8 stowaway on board Abidjan-bound vessel in Lagos. Impeachment. Ondo court strikes out Akeredolu's suit over record of appeal. And lastly, on the local scene, students shot Ondo institution over NYSC mobilization. And moving on to the foreign scene, 15 killed as flooding hits Kenya. Thousands trapped by Somalia flood. This is coming from UN. About 20 killed in Cameroon separatist attack. South Africa to recall all diplomats from Israel. And lastly, on the foreign scene, Guinea junta sacks soldiers, prison officers after ex-dictators jailbreak. And moving on to the world of sports, Akpom, my first 2 months at Ajax were terrible. Ian Acho nominated for Leicester October of the Month Award. Chukwueze returns to AC Milan training ahead of PSG clash. 2023 AFCON. Take every game like Cup final. Aloy Agu advises Super Eagles. And lastly, in the world of sports, Manchester City ready for Club World Cup. This is according to Guardiola. And those are the major headlines making the rounds today. On behalf of the production crew, my name is NEDU OKORIE. For sponsorship or advert placement, kindly contact our sales and marketing office on 0912 929 4332. You can as well call 0812 286 078. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we discuss and have in-depth analysis of some of the topical stories. And don't forget that you can follow us by logging on to any of Diamond FM online platforms on www.diamondfm.net, or keep up to date via our social media pages. Do stay tuned.
Follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond887FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Where?
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, they want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hold Indomine? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people. From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
All right, I welcome you to another interesting edition of Diamond Breakfast Show, broadcasting live from the International Media Center of Diamond 88.7 FM, Ire-Wolede, Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. Good morning. Yes, of course, when it comes to comprehensive news, interesting conversations, and trending music, we are number one in the state of harmony. And I'm grateful to God for being here. I also appreciate you for tuning in and for always staying glued to Diamond 88.7 FM. The program, once again, is Diamond Breakfast Show. Yes, what we do here is we analyze and discuss salient topics pertaining to politics and the society in general. And as you all know, we bring you the latest of updates. It comes up every weekdays from Mondays to Fridays, and I'm always live on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. You can listen to the program online via our website. It is www.diamondfm.net. Yes, if you have those who are not in Kwara State, you can as well tell them to log in to that website to listen online. And you can also watch us live on Facebook at Diamond 887 FM and on YouTube at Diamond FM Ilorin. My name once again is NEDU OKORIE. My friends call me Odogu, and since you are my friend, why not go ahead and call me Odogu? All right, this morning our conversation is centered around the reactions of the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, concerning the Supreme Court's judgment yesterday at a press conference in Abuja. We'll also take a look at peculiarities of the off-season elections coming up on this Saturday in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states. And finally, we'll be reviewing the state of Nigeria's educational system with a focus on our tertiary institutions. So please do note that you can be a part of the conversations. You can send your messages. You can call into the studio. And please do note that your opinion must not deviate from the standards. That is ensuring that you use radio-friendly languages. In other words, no foul languages, no attacks on personalities or entities. And please do note that you must strictly abide by all this so that we'll have a wonderful conversation. Send in your messages on WhatsApp via 0913-655-6864, 0913-655-6864. And you can as well call 0913-655-6952 to be a part of the conversation. All right, my guest is already seated in the studio. My guest is a public affairs analyst, is a lecturer at the Department of History, Kwara State College of Education, Ilorin. Is by name Malam Sakariyau Abiodun Yita. Malam Yita, good morning.
Good morning, Odogu.
Yes, good morning.
I'm your friend now.
Of course.
So I love calling you Odogu.
Of course.
And then also I'm happy to be here too, because one of the leading radio stations in the town is that Diamond FM. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, everybody.
All right. Good morning. Let's get the show started immediately. All right, the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, Mr. Peter Obi, finally shared his thoughts as regards the decision of the Supreme Court on who won the election. Well, let's take a listen to what he said yesterday. Well, not all what he said, just an excerpt from the speech he made yesterday.
Even for historical purposes, it belongs us to place our disagreement with and deep reservation about this judgment on public record. We have long been aware of how weak the national institutions have negatively affected our democracy. This year, 2023, has been quite remarkable and revealing. INEC displayed incompetence in the conduct of its statutory duties. The judiciary has largely acted in defiance of the constitutional tenets, precedents, and established ground rules. Political expediency has preceded judicial responsibility. A mechanical application of technicalities has preceded pursuit of justice. Constitution be a workable and functional constitution that will be productive for Nigeria. Including in that would have been issue of single tenure. I thank Vice President Atiku Abubakar on his position and his commitment to ensure that things work better going forward in Nigeria. But I disagree slightly. I will go for 5-year tenure.
All right, those are the words of Mr. Peter Obi yesterday at the press briefing in Abuja, talking about his own thoughts on the outcome of the Supreme Court's judgment after the polls. Well, we'll look at all these angles, different angles concerning the speech he made, and we'll also be corroborating it with that of Mr. Atiku Abubakar. Well, let's pay some bills. Let's take a short break, and when we return, we'll delve deeper into the conversation. You're still listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin.
Public announcement. Another opportunity is here again for the youth to take their financial literacy knowledge to the next level. The Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, is commemorating this year's World Savings Day in Kwara State with the theme, Conquer Your Tomorrow Through Savings. The World Savings Day will educate students about saving habits, financial management tips, entrepreneurial skills, knowledge of the Deposit Insurance System DIS, and lots more in youths at selected secondary schools in the state. The 2023 World Savings Day in Kwara State will come up at Government Secondary School, Maraba, Ilorin, on Tuesday, 7th November 2023 at 10 a.m. NDIC, protecting your bank deposits. Announcer, Management.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond 887FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
All right, you're welcome back from that commercial break. You're still listening to the Diamond Breakfast Show, reaching you from the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. Yes, you just listened to the radio excerpt, the audio excerpt from the speech made by Mr. Peter Obi yesterday. And at the news conference yesterday, he accused the Supreme Court of treating the allegations of forgery and identity theft against President Bola Tinubu with levity. According to him, the judgment amounts to a total breach of the confidence the Nigerian people have in the legal system, that is in the judiciary. And based on the summary from Obi's thoughts, Malam Yita, how would you weigh in on this whole thing, even with the fact that he, Mr. Peter Obi, has once been a beneficiary of the judiciary system he is criticizing?
Well, you see, we can look at it from motivated approach, and one of it is that Peter Obi, as a citizen of Nigeria, and at the same time being a presidential candidate of a particular party, which has made him as one of the leading politicians in the country, I think is entitled to his opinion. The court also haven't weighed the evidences that is before them and has been argued at the trial level up to, or at the tribunal level up to the Supreme Court before the judgment is being taken. I think the court also has done their own part. And Nigerians now are the ones that will now weigh what they want at this material time. What is certain is that you cannot give what you don't have.
Who are you attributing that to?
Yeah, that is what I'm coming. And you cannot be a judge in your case. If Peter Obi by today is now criticizing the judiciary bit, but however, just as you have said, he was once a beneficiary of the system. But one thing I've noticed over the years from Nigerian politicians is that they are what we call whether it's sad losers or
bad losers,
or whatever. Because if it is the interest of the country, I don't see a reason why they have to go too far condemning the INEC, condemning the judiciary, condemning everything, as if nothing is working. It is in this world when Al Gore contested against, I think, George Bush in this country, in this world, in United States of America. It take about 4 or 5 days before the Supreme Court deliver the judgment. And Al Gore has to congratulate him because it's not about selfish interest. I'm not saying Peter Obi is selfish here, but he's taking the matter too far. You cannot be greater than the country.
Well, in politics, reactions have to take place. For you to say he's taking the matter too far, Atiku also responded to the outcome of the Supreme Court's judgment. And it is politics. It is a matter of action and reaction. And for you to say he's taking the matter too far...
you see, if you are an elder statesman, you don't set fire in the house that you tend to come and sleep. All these things is a way of trying to overheat the polity. Because their own followers or their supporters will not be happy with the system because they believe in them. Politics is about doctrine. Politics is about belief. And when you had a particular belief, and the leader of that belief is condemning a system, you know what that will send down to the line? And let me tell you, all of us are a living witness to this election. And there is a law. Forget about other things that they later introduced, about the issue of the personality of the incumbent president, about the issue of certificate forgery, about whatever. These are another case that have to be filed properly in another court of law. And that was what the court was saying.
All right.
That the matter of jurisdiction, you know, that one actually come up in the whole of the exercise.
Yes, it deals with matters of jurisdiction based on the alma mater involved.
Yes, and then when you are filing a case, you must have put up this. It's not that when you want to, it's like shifting a goalpost in the middle of the match.
All
That
right.
is when they want to introduce all this evidence.
All right, Malam Yita, let's look at the reactions of the presidency through the president's special advisor on information and strategy, Mr. Bayo Ononuga. And he actually lambasted Obi. He stated that Obi is suffering from delusion for assuming that he could be declared a winner in an election where he came third. And one particular thing that is striking, he mentioned, is the fact that he allegedly ran, that's Bayo Ononuga stated that Obi allegedly ran the most divisive and polarizing campaigns. And he also lambasted him for also criticizing the judiciary. What's your thought, especially on that comment, divisive and polarizing campaigns?
You see, I don't want to totally agree with the presidency.
Okay.
Because it's as if they are trading words. And me as an individual, as a public affairs analyst, I have to strike the balance.
For the purpose of peace.
Yes, you have to strike the balance. You know, Bayo Ononuga may be defending the cause of his party and that of the presidency, while Peter Obi is also doing the same thing. But as a Nigerian, what did I see? What I see is that I see a judiciary that has been painstakingly looking at the merit and demerit of the case.
Okay.
And the interest of the country for the peace and tranquility deliver this judgment according to the way it goes. It's not left for them to react, but the reaction should not be the one that will condemn all the activities or whatever of the judiciary. I agree. Judiciary may not be the perfect one, or may not be a saint full of saint and whatever, but the weighty evidence before my lordships, they weigh everything, and before they now pick up their judgment. Remember, at the presidential election tribunal,
yes,
for good 18 hours, the judgment was read. Luckily, I was in Abuja that day. You can see everywhere in Abuja, it's as if nobody is doing anything again. And they have to pick the cases from one angle to the other, because there has been a lot of media issues that have been going on from this party A, party B, whether PDP, whether Labour Party, trying to paint the judiciary, all eyes and on judiciary, put the billboard and what have you. It's as if they are mounting pressure on the judiciary. And let me tell you, judgments are not done based on emotions. You present your facts.
You made mention of one fact, Malam Yita. You said that having looked at the merits and demerits to forestall peace in the country, the judges presented their judgment. Is it not based on the constitution and based on the electoral law?
When you are putting up merits, you consult all authorities. It's not about discretion. What this judge and what this case said, what the constitution say, what are this, what are that. Then they go to the past judgment also to draw some inferences there. At the end of the day, that forms the basis of which they bring up their judgment. So it's not about discretion. It's not about emotion. It's not about having a personality issue between whether contestant A, contestant B is against contestant C. No.
In other words, what you're trying to say is
what
based...
their lawyers,
okay,
the team of their legal team presented before the judge. And remember, they scrutinize every exhibit. The matter in court goes beyond what me and you see on the feed. You have to present some evidence convincingly.
Of course.
You have to prove it beyond any reasonable doubt. It is until then the judge will now know, okay, you have convinced us beyond any reasonable doubt. This is the position of the law. This is the position of the law, before they now come up their judgment.
All
it's
right.
not about discretion. And let me tell you, the constitution is very clear It's not about somebody is trying to get a money market judgment anywhere. Obi was once a beneficiary of the judgment that threw away Ngige. Or after Mbadinuju, Ngige won. Before Obi came in. Remember the issue of Faji Etiaba, who happened to be his own vice governor, deputy governor then in Anambra State. It was Obi that has been the beneficiary of the court, and Faji Etiaba was thrown away.
All right, Malam Yuta, because of want of
not
time.
Because of today.
Let me
come up. Delve
it's
not because
into
of
something
today
else,
that he was unable to get it. That he now condemned the judiciary as an elder statesman.
Yes.
He hold this country a service. And that service is to maintain peace and tranquility and unity of this country.
All right. Let's look at another angle to this speech he made. He made something, a remarkable statement. He said in trying to, that is, was trying to compare what Atiku said to his own intentions. Let's look at the similarity. He mentioned the fact that there needs to be like a tweak in the constitution so that there will be a review of the number of years political office holders will be in office. And he mentioned 5 years. And just like Atiku mentioned 6 years. What do you have to say about this 5 year, 6 year cycle? Is it, should it be a welcome development from these two parties?
Well, you are talking about the issue of having second tenure or having 5 years single tenure. 6 years
yes, exactly.
Tenure. You see, it's about constitution.
True.
Thank God it's now coming up from them. Assuming Nigerians are the one agitating, but will say because of this and that. When these people have access to power and authority at different times in this country, both Atiku and Obi has been in the government. Why can't they raise it as at that material level? So they now calculate that 8 years may be too long. However, it's not the right for anybody to spend 2 terms. It's only a constitutional provision. You can spend,
and based on the people's choice.
And based on people's choice. Thank you. Some people can spend 4 years, and when the people are not all that comfortable with him or her, they send him away. Okay. And then so using that nomenclature that they want, or that argument that they want it to be 4 years, 5 years single tenure, 6 years single tenure, fine. If they can find their way in constitution amendment. Yeah, thank God they have their members in the parliament.
Okay.
And all these things can be amended in the parliament. Let us sponsor that bill then for the constitution amendment. However, that kind of constitution amendment, you know why it will be difficult?
Why?
Because you are running a federal and rigid constitution.
You mentioned the fact that there needs to be a parliamentary system of government for that to occur.
Let me tell you, I'm also an advocate of parliamentary system of government.
Okay.
Because we have used it in this country, it has worked. From 1960 to 1966, it was about parliamentary system of government, where the member of the parliament are also the member of the executive, fusion of power. In that kind of situation, before you can find yourself in the ministerial position, you must have stand election in your constituency, won that election, go to the center before your party can nominate you for the ministerial thing.
For posterity's sake and for future elections, how can we correct some of these the negative things we experienced during the election, talking about malpractices and insecurity, especially as regards the court deciding the winner of an election rather than the people deciding? How
honestly,
can we correct all
it
this?
is the people that are not ready. The court has no fault here. They were there. We brought the case to them. The people that were given the opportunity of electing their representative because of the peanuts.
Apologies, Malam Yita. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, please. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Dr. Zil from PIA.
All right, Dr. Z, go ahead.
Yeah. For me, anyone who really look at this thing without any form of bias in this country should not blame Peter Obi at all. And the court themselves, so-called Supreme Court, they've always been, over time, especially since this APC government came in, they've been giving some form of judgment that is questionable. And for me, I can always tell you that on the side of justice and on sincerity, Peter Obi not saying that he must be declared is only trying to say that the Supreme Court has the prerogative to look at the matter, not only following what the appeal court has said. That is how it's supposed to be. When a situation they just give the judgment as if it is the usual way of making the first person to becoming the first person in the other governorship service for one state the other time. No, to be better in the way they deliver their judgment and really set some matters straight so that it will be a good precedent for the future, not just that we should not complain because it's court. No, they are not almighty.
All right.
They are only God, yes.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Zil, for your contribution right there. Well, we'll continue with the conversation and we'll delve into some other topics when we come back from this commercial break. Do not go anywhere. You're still listening to Diamond 88.7 FM.
Oya lé dànù orí fífọ́ lé dànù ara ríro lé dànù òtútù ibà lé dànù. For fast relief of cold pain, fever and headache. Dìde kára ó lè kókó.
Ẹ sọ fún ẹ̀fọ́ ní òtútù ibà tara ríro kí wọ́n kán lùgbọ́ one time. Kára ó lè ti dé o. Àgbáwọlé ní iṣẹ́ ni àkàwọlé ń tè kan. Koríko tẹ́lẹ̀ bá ti tẹ òtún gbérí mọ́. Dìde kára ó lè lúbúlúbú funfun pẹ̀ ìrúkù sarajọ mẹ́ra yágágá. Àjàká kò tí sọkọ fún ẹ̀fọ́ ní òtútù ibà tara ríro lágọ̀ ara. Káì! Kàsàkàsà knockout. Agbára ju agbára lọ. Dìde kára ó lè jagunla bí olùgbòǹgbò gàjàtọ̀ ara jàtọ̀ kìtìlẹ̀. Ẹgbẹ́ ìlúra kẹgbà. To Yield Pharmaceutical Industries Limited. Àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi kápò oògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é. Bára rẹ̀ ò bá yá lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta. Má ṣàfihàn o, kàn sí dókítà rẹ̀.
When it comes to finance, the value for knowledge is worth everything, and it's about time we up our game. Introducing Flutterwave POS 2.0. Flutterwave POS 2.0. Flutterwave, the payment processing giant of Africa, now dealing in POS services and everything payment processing. We also have our channels for online merchants, e-commerce, and online vendors to receive money online from their customers across the world. Flutterwave has made room for partnership and support in a meeting with his Senior Vice President, Mr. Dotun Adekunle.
Location for Ilorin, Bovina View Hotel. Time 11 a.m.
On the 20th of September 2023.
Contact 0703 976 3333.
Flutterwave POS 2.0. A notch higher and better.
All right, you're still listening to Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin, and the program is still Diamond Breakfast Show, reaching you from the studios of Diamond FM Ilorin. All right, my name once again is Odogu, and I've been speaking with Malam Yita, and we've been having conversations on the reactions of Mr. Peter Obi on the outcome of the Supreme Court's verdict on the 2023 elections. All right, just like Atiku Malamita, Obi seems not to be backing down. According to his speech, he said, and I quote, "Going forward, we in the Labour Party and the Obedient Movement are now effectively in opposition. We are glad that the nation has heard us loud and clear. We shall now expand the confines of our message of hope to the rest of the country. We shall meet the people in places where they feel pained and answer their needs for hope." What do you think he meant by these words?
Honestly, that is what I'm expecting.
Some critics have termed this statement as inciting.
It's not, because they now have to go back to the drawing board, map out their strategies. Elections are not won on the TV, or on media and what have you. You walk to the mind of the people.
In other words, it's not only during campaigns.
No, they started now. That is okay. What we are saying is that before you can be declared as the president of Nigeria, the first condition is that you must have a majority vote.
Okay.
Secondly, you must have 25% of the 2/3 of the states of the federation. All these things cannot just happen in a day. It's a process of long work. Let the obedient movement, the Labour Party, started their own strategy, working to the people, trying to sell their ideology, trying to send their manifesto to the people. And when Nigerians are find them being comfortable for, I think 4 years is very close. Where Nigeria can now decide again. But for the incitement or condemning judiciary, that's the area by which I am not other agree with them.
All right.
Because when the team favor Peter Obi in 2003 and what have you, he did not criticize. But now, 20 years after, 2023, then that thing now go against him. Then judiciary now call bad name. No.
All right, Malam
One shouldn't be.
Let's have this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, please.
Bamidele is my name.
All right, Bamidele, go ahead.
There is difference between criticizing and disparaging judiciary. I have a contrary view too.
Okay.
For any Nigerian to say any misstatement made by any opposition we incite, it will never happen. Because it has never been another way. It has always been whoever wins the presidency will win our Supreme Court. So no, nothing insightful there. That's number one. For Nanuga to say that Obi ran the most divisive this thing, I disagree with him. Why did he win in Lagos if he's divisive? He has a senator in FCT.
All right. All right. Thank you, Bamidele, for your contribution.
So that is it.
All right. All right, keep your calls coming in. The number to call is 09136556952. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, please. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Tolani from Amsterdam.
All right, Tolani, in 2 minutes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the analyst today are disagreeing with you totally.
Okay.
Because, one, we have a problem in this country that most things are being caused by the judiciary.
Okay.
Because once the judiciary are not in good order, how can you expect a good judgment? Okay, we're having problems. Akadu is having problems. Over there, Tinubu is having problems. Ahmed Lawa, they are all having problems with issues with either ICPC or EFCC or DSS. Now, you brought a candidate to CGA as the CGA. How do you expect him to work against the incumbent government? The government got there by chance. We all know that Nigerian politics, they win election by chance.
All right.
By who you know and the influence you have in the society.
All right, thank you so much. Your time is up.
They are winning.
All right, thank you so much.
Let me correct one impression. The appointment of the CJN is not about whether it is Tinubu that put the CJN there. It's about the person that is next in hierarchy after the former CJN bow out of service.
All right.
So it now is about right and turn that make the Justice Kayode Ariwola to be the Chief Justice of Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much for that thought. All right, let's move on to the next issue we have today. And it's regarding Saturday's off-season elections slated to hold in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi. And according to the police and army chiefs, security measures and operatives are being put in place to forestalling the smooth running of the election in this state. Well, based on previous and available reports, ever since Nigeria gained independence, the electoral processes in the country have been, marred with different forms of violence and malpractices. For instance, on September 18 in Bayelsa, Timothy Silva, the candidate of the APC and the incumbent governor, Duoye Diri of the PDP, they were trading words of sponsoring violence ahead of the polls. Now, after the redeployment of the Imo State Commissioner of Police and the whole thing that went down last week, and the alleged brutalization of the NLC boss, and we really appreciate the IGP's effort to forestalling peace in that place. He has redeployed the Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Bade, to the headquarters. Now, the People's Democratic Party has called for immediate redeployment of the Imo REC, Professor Sylvia Agu, and they're accusing her of being compromised by the APC, the incumbent government. You are smiling, Malamita. What are your thoughts concerning these accusations? Are they going too far? Is it taking the matter too far in a democratic setting? That is, redeploying the resident electoral commissioner.
Let me just use one word. And I always appreciate the philosophy of Goodluck Jonathan when he said his ambition does not worth blood of an average Nigerian. If every politician go by this game, I don't see a reason why everybody must be so desperate to be there. But because politics has been a gateway to wealth, yes, it's now a business. It's not about serving the people. And that is why everybody wants to be there. You can see the major actors now that are coming up on the political scenes. Now it was formerly APC, PDP, later this SDP. We are announcing the emergence of Labour Party. It's very good for democracy because we now see power emerging from different forces, at least to come and balance the political space. And you can't rule out the fact that they will use all the political intrigues and maneuvering to see where they have strength. They want to consolidate on it. Their own weakness area, they are trying to see how they can get what comes out of it in their own favor. All those things are political game. And that was why I was smiling. For one thing that I was not that I did not appreciate is the brutalization of the NLC in whatever name. This is a gentleman that is coming to fight for the welfare of his members. And for him, in whatever form, to have been attacked at any point, automatically, the CP there actually condones some laxity as far as that security of that state is concerned. NLC chairman is a VIP man. He should have been beefed up with the security in order not to allow this miscreant to have access to him and now injured the gentleman.
Okay, looking at it from another angle concerning that incident that happened that day, some other observers actually criticizing the NLC boss for not providing necessary security for himself. Like, according to some observers, they stated that when Imo State is a state, he should have gone to the governor to pay obeisance and to announce his presence there to make himself known so that necessary security measures will be put in place to actually state what he is there for.
Honestly, me and you were not there.
True.
But what I got, the information that I received, that I read was that right there from the airport. That's when he has been waylaid.
Okay.
And so he couldn't do anything. Even he couldn't have access to where he's going to address his member and what have you. Although it may be ill-timed. Let me use that word also.
Okay.
That it may be ill-timed. Because this is the governor that is preparing for election in 1 month. And you as the Labour chair, national president of the Labour, you were going there. One, because your members are suffering as a result of maybe the governor has not been doing.
So the governor might have seen it as a threat.
As a threat. That is where I'm going to. And that is why, whether he's the one that masterminded it or those within this political camp must have seen that, if this guy happened to have his will, there may be a problem. Maybe. That is why. But in whatever, it's not healthy for democracy. That is what I'm going. Then when you now look at the Kogi, our neighbor here, you could have seen the campaign was so tense. At least about 3 figures are there now. The APC, the SDP, and the PDP, Dino Melaye, and what have you. You can see the game is everywhere. But what I want the security to do is to maintain neutrality.
Exactly.
Neutrality. Though that they will not see them as being backing somebody again. Let the will of the people come to play.
All right. Let's look at the state of Nigeria's electoral system. Over 300 billion naira was budgeted for 2023 elections for the conduct of the general elections, talking about security, logistics, materials, and what have you. With this huge sum, don't you think INEC, as an unbiased
umpire.
umpire or body, should be able to see to the conduct of an election devoid of malpractice and insecurity? Because what these two electoral anomalies portend is that it instills fear in the people. It reduces the will and the faith of choosing their leader through the polls.
You see, it's not about money here. I've been saying this time without number. It's not about money. It's about the arrangements you put in place. Anywhere, the cost of election is always high. Anywhere. Even though you are to use e-voting, it's always there because you have to put so many gadgets in place in order to affect people's opinion, people's poll. Talk less of this ballot paper. And remember, Nigeria is such a country where before you can access some area, you even need to, apart from using the canoe, you can use some helicopter to drop something somewhere. One thing that I find out in this country is that development may not get to some grassroots, but polling booths will get there. They may not have access to water. Well, they may not have access to school.
Well,
but they will have polling booths.
Let me hold you right there. Let's pay some bills, and when we come back, we'll delve deeper and also wrap it up with our third topic. Do not go anywhere. You're still listening to the Diamond Breakfast Show.
Alájà, ẹ fún mi lábọ́ ẹ̀wà méjì. Alájà, irú oorun olè sùn ní dàí.
Ẹ má mà bínú, ìjà gbùdù pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀fọn lálẹ́ àná ni ò jẹ́ sùn dáadáa.
Abba, alájà, ṣáwọn ẹ̀fọn sì ń yọ yín lẹ́nu ni. Ìyẹn mà ti di àfihẹ́yìn.
Ṣé lóòótọ́?
Ṣé yín ò gba àwọn apẹ̀fọn tó pa ẹ̀fọn ni?
Mo gba àwọn apẹ̀fọn, ṣùgbọ́n mi ò tí ì máa sùn sínú rẹ̀.
Ẹ nílò láti máa sùn lábẹ́ àwọn apẹ̀fọn yín torí kí ẹ má bàa ṣe àìsàn ibà mọ́. Torí àwọn apẹ̀fọn yìí yóò dáàbò bò yín lọ́wọ́ àwọn ẹ̀fọn tó ń fa ibà. Ojúṣe yín ni láti dáàbò bo ara yín àti àwọn ará ilé yín.
Ẹ máa ṣe ìyá wa, màá rí dájú pé èmi àti ìdílé mi sùn sábẹ́ àwọn apẹ̀fọn lálẹ́ yìí. Ó yẹ ẹ gba èèní fún ìmọ̀ràn yín.
Ẹ máa ṣe ń fa alájà.
Láti ní ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tó bọ́ lọ́wọ́ àrùn ibà, kó ipa tirẹ̀ nípa sísùn nínú àwọn tó ń pa ẹ̀fọn lálaalẹ́. Ìkéde yìí wá láti ọwọ́ ìjọba pẹ̀lú àwọn alájọṣepọ̀ tó ń gbógun ti àrùn ibà.
The sounds, the vibes, good talk and conversations. You can have it all on Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin. Diamond 88.7 FM, we've got you.
All right, you're welcome back from that commercial break. You're still listening to the Diamond Breakfast Show. Well, let's pick this call before we continue. Hello, good morning.
My name is Asif Abdullah. They're calling from Okelele.
All right.
Good morning to your guest in the studio. I want to make my own submission on the issue of the election coming in Bayelsa, Kogi, and the other places.
Okay.
I will just appeal to our people. Let's maintain law and order.
Okay.
Make your vote and go back home. And to security personnel, they should all allow peace to reign.
Okay.
They should not be fired at your
right.
So that people will come and vote who they like and who they believe will move their state forward.
All right.
God bless us.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate. All right, we've been having conversations on the off-cycle elections coming up this Saturday in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi. And the main point is that we should maintain civility, and the security operatives also should try and ensure peace and stability in all the states. Well, we're talking about... I think our time is fast spent. Let's just delve into sincerely. Let's just delve into the final conversation, which is very important. The recent hikes in tuition fees in tertiary institutions across the country is actually menacing. Let me use that word. Yesterday, students of Tai Solarin University of Education, TASWED, in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State, gathered at the university premises to express their dissatisfaction against the recently announced tuition fee hike for the upcoming academic session. And according to reports, a student who pays 90,000 naira as a tuition fee, let's say on an average, will now start paying almost 200,000 naira. Well, although a statement from the school's management has not yet been released, but other school managements have attributed this hike in school fees in the recent times to the current economic realities. What are your perspectives on this, taking into cognizance that even the students and their parents are also having their fair share of these current economic realities, coupled with the student loan? I want to have your own perspective on all this.
Well, let's face the reality of it. And the reality of it is that whether I would like it or not, students will pay more. The era of when education are being subsidized is going, because the governments that are supposed to make education highly subsidized are not ready to fund it again. That is the bitter truth. Whether in the federal,
that's the reality.
Whether in the federal or in the states, all these tertiary institutions are suffering, and they cannot close shops. Why they cannot close shops is that they have to secure their job, and that is why, as the back door, they are telling them to go and look inward to bring up something that will enable them sustain the institutions. In fact, let me tell you, in some states they will even compare that if these private institutions can be getting it right, why would the government own are not getting it right? So automatically, whether we like it or not, I'm from the sector. I know what.
Of course, I know that's why you're talking this way.
That is why I have to talk this way. I also pay somewhere, not that this is only here. And then it is until when the general public have to tell the government to fund education adequately. That is when this issue of fee hike will not come up. Let me tell you, as we are talking now, when ASU was on strike last year, you know, virtually every segment of Nigerians were condemning the ASU, that they are too much, they are trying to bring down the system and what have you. ASU was saying then that it's not about the money they will pay them out the salary. That actually be the major issue behind this strike. It's about funding of the public education. Nigerians are not listening to them now. I think the reality is now down on everybody and down on our pockets now. Because now the parents and some students that have to pay now are crying loud. Then they want them to close shops, while the private universities are having licenses every day. So the public institution must also prove themselves that they have the ability and the capability,
in other words,
and resources
Mala,
to deliver on this public education.
What you're trying to say is that the masses should just face the reality.
Yes.
All right. Well, even though the government needs to sit up in the production, in this infrastructure that is catering of our educational system, well, according to Malam Yita, we need to face the reality.
We need to face the reality.
Well, yesterday at a press conference to usher in the third convocation at Koladaisi University in Ibadan, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Adeniyi Olatubosun, asked that the government should also include private universities as beneficiaries of the federal government loan scheme. What's your take on this?
While I have a mixed feelings to that.
Why?
Yes, it's a public fund. And must be used for public institutions.
Okay.
Why you you establish your own business, expect government to fund it for you?
Coupled with the fact that they
even the
accept
one that
exorbitant fees.
Yes, let me tell you, the one that the government themselves established is sovereign. Then you expect them to come and fund your own, or what are they saying? As a student,
to allow students participate in the loan.
As a student, if they are if they have the merit, there is nothing preventing them as a Nigerian citizen. They have that right too. However, the public institutions are taking care of the students from the masses, from the downtrodden. They are the one attending public institutions. Let me tell you, they say somebody gave 1 million to some students in some university, in one university last week. You know what they say? They say the worth of an average student there is over 5 million, and somebody is dashing them 1 million. Does that have anything?
Wow.
Dash somebody in the
my time is fast spent.
College of
Finally,
Education on 1 million and see if you know.
Yes, ma.
Okay, my final note.
I mean, finally, let's look at the last point under education. Well, the executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Mr. Ola Olukoyede, through an interactive session, has called on heads of tertiary institutions across the country to join hands in tackling the rising cases of internet fraud among students. Well, you must agree with me that this is a great initiative, but as a public opinionist, as a lecturer, how would you how can we nip this menace of internet fraud among our youth? It's alarming.
It's alarming, and it's highly sympathetic and very unfortunate. However, we are ready to collaborate, provided the agency itself will see that every student court were not one way or the other allowed to get their way out of the hook. What I'm saying is that at the end of the day, you seize them, they seize car, they seize houses, they seize whatever. And after some days, you see those students coming back to campus. It's until when if they apprehended anybody, we want them to see to the logical conclusion of the trial. Once an individual has been brought to book, or they are being brought to book, then every one of them will keep pace.
All right, let's pick this final call. Hello, good morning. Oh, okay. Apologies to those that have been trying to call in. Let's take messages before we wrap it up on the show. Well, this is a long one coming from Abdul Wahid Okoba from Maiduguri. I won't be able to take it all. Good morning to you in the house. On Peter Obi, I don't need to beat around the bush. Peter Obi is a Nigerian and a politician. There is nothing special in him. He's selfish and a bad loser. We have a sitting government here in Nigeria losing cases in court. We had sitting president where he lost an election and congratulated the winner even before the announcement was made. How can we compare such a person with Mr. Peter Obi, who used to bully the judge? Well, apologies, I can't take all that message. This one says, good morning in the studio. The guest really did justice to the speech of Mr. Obi. I think at this level of things, now he should let go of whatever other mind he has and apologize to the whole Nigeria for his words. God bless Nigeria. JC Obasun from Offa. Okay. Good morning, House. If we are to make progress in our democracy, it depends on all of us. We condemn everything, INEC judiciary, especially when it doesn't favor us. We must change our mindset. Let's remove desperation. Let's remove do or die affair. Issa Mohammed from Ilorin. Well, those are the messages I can take on WhatsApp. And finally, hello, good morning. Okay, that's it. I cannot take any more reactions. And this is where I'll be drawing the curtains on today's edition of Diamond Breakfast Show. Thank you, Malam Yita, for coming on the program. I really appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, and thanks to the lady that is behind the
Of course.
Doing a wonderful job there.
Yes. Thank you for staying with me, my listeners, and big thanks to those who have contributed on the show, and special thanks to my producer, Taiwo Adediran. Special thanks to my studio manager, Adeshewa. And big thanks to my station manager, the one and only Maho. I call him High Chief Maho, Mr. Michael Abiodun Olanrewaju. God bless you, sir. And let's do this again on Thursday. My name again is NEDU OKORIE. You can call me Odogu. Stay tuned for the news at 10 in Yoruba language. May God bless the works of your hand, and have a wonderful day.